Welcome back. A massive shakeup of the Madison Diocese follows what some larger dioceses, including in the Twin Cities, have already done. Finalized this week, more than 100 parishes will be consolidated into 30 larger groupings called pastorates. A majority of priests are getting different assignments as a result, but the change is spurred by longtime changes within the diocese and Catholicism overall. This week, I joined Madison Diocese Bishop Don Hying to discuss. This plan has been in the works for a while. The diocese has put out a lot of information over the last year, more than a year. Can you talk me through the factors that the diocese research found in the reality report that kind of is driving the restructuring of parishes?
No, that's exactly right. So really what motivates us to do what we're doing is the data that we discovered that just in the last 10 years here in the Diocese of Madison, our attendance numbers have plummeted even before COVID in terms of Mass. We have 40% less baptisms, 50% less children enrolled in religious education, 35% less marriages. So by any metric, you can see that the numbers are declining. We have an adequate number of priests. I think any bishop would say you can always use about 10 more priests. But when we look at the numbers of lay people in the pews practicing the faith, those numbers are in decline, and especially when we look at the age demographics, obviously it tilts older. So a group of younger priests came to me and really asked if I would be open to looking at doing a strategic plan for the diocese. So the goal isn't at all to reduce access to the sacraments. The goal is not to close places of worship. The goal is rather to really unify and have our resources, both human and material resources, converge in a new way so that we're much more able to be about the mission, which is proclaiming the gospel, celebrating the sacraments, shepherding God's people into a living, deep relationship with Christ. So almost 3 years ago, we launched our Go Make Disciples initiative, which is all about evangelization. How do we equip Catholics who are practicing the faith to have what I would say is the competence and confidence to engage others, to talk to family members, friends, co-workers, people who have drifted from the church, people that are lost, people that are hurting, people that need God. So how can we equip our people to really live the mission of the gospel that we see laid out, especially in Acts of the Apostles in the early church?
What is it about taking 100+ parishes, combining them into 30-some pastorates that accomplishes those goals, that accomplishes the goals of more evangelism, getting more young people into church? How do those two things connect?
I would answer in several levels. To look at the priests, it means that we'll only have 30 pastors instead of about 63. So it's going to free up more of our priests and more of our priests' time to be about the pastoral work instead of the administrative work. I think any pastor would say he'd love to be out with his people more, he'd love to be doing more of the pastoral work, but there's so much detail and just obligation with the administration of a parish, especially a large, complex parish. So it frees up many more of our priests. It also allows our younger priests to be mentored longer before they become pastors. And it also means that our priests will be working as teams instead of individually. So my classic example for that is, let's say a rural county in our diocese has 6 parishes and 4 pastors. So 2 of them have 2 parishes. They're all living alone, they're all working alone. They're all unconsciously competing with each other to fill their pews, to fill the collection basket, to fill the school. Why not put all that together canonically into one parish? So now you have all of those people and all of those resources working together as a team, and then looking out at the whole county in this case as a mission. So on the level of priests, it's going to really free up our priests to do more pastoral work and to work as teams. Secondly, for our lay staffs, it's going to allow our lay staffs to work more strategically and also open up money within the budget to hire people to do youth ministry, to do evangelization. So things that a standalone parish could not have been able to afford, a pastorate will be able to afford and think more strategically for all of the churches within that pastorate. On the third level, for our people, it just means there'll be greater availability of resources. They'll be served by a team of priests. I know people get very attached to their priest, and there's a lot of grief going on right now because I just announced last weekend all the priest changes, and I get that, I understand that. But once once all the changes are set in place, I'm anticipating many years of stability as we just grow this whole new plan.
You just mentioned there's a lot of grief going on right now. People are losing longtime priests. People are losing, and I believe the plan says a majority of priests are being moved somewhere different. How long do you anticipate, I guess, that grief process to go? How many people do you think are kind of taken off guard or just reacting strongly to this?
I think the people that have been following the process, who've been looking at our videos, reading things online, understand it and get it. And those that faithfully go to Mass, they look around, they see the dwindling numbers in the pews. So it may be painful for them because of the changes, but I think deep down they understand the rationale of why we're doing it. It's the great asceticism of the parish priesthood, that you deeply invest in this community, and then you get moved, you start over. But that's happened often in my life, and I feel that every one of those changes was of God and was something that was fruitful in my life and for the people that I served.
More with Hying, it's just after the break.